Hey everybody, hope you all having a good week so far. Hopefully everybody has some nice plans for the 4th of July with the family. Should be a good little break for everybody over the weekend. All right, so we've got BTC here, and this is that 200 week moving average, or 203 day moving average, sorry. So we've covered this several times in the last couple of videos. This is the first time we've actually confirmed a close over it, so we should really stay over this. This closes again in the next couple hours. Normally I do videos after the close, but today I've got some stuff I've got to do. I've got some friends in town. I'm meeting them for dinner. So for example, over here you had two closes below this moving average. These two candles, this one here and this one here, that was the confirmation candle, and then you just had this dramatic fall. Okay, so you had a close here, now you had a confirmation close, so this should have a pretty significant move to the upside. If we look over here, I would just get rid of this whole situation here because it was a black swan event. But for example, you closed here, you closed the next candle, and then boom, you had this big move up. Closed two candles underneath it right here. You even retested it as resistance. Boom, you fell all the way down. I think that's pretty much, well, okay, so we had two closes here, and then you did actually have a dip down here, which is not what you want to see, but we haven't had like a straight parabolic move to the upside. But right here, you closed two candles here, retested as resistance, and then fell. So more times than not, once we get up here, we do have a pretty significant move to the upside. So this box might not really be exactly the target to look at. It might be this 48 level. And I could see it do something like that. If it happens really, really fast, if it just goes parabolic, it would be kind of concerning for me. At least, yeah, it would be kind of concerning for me. But we'll get to that and kind of see what ends up happening. But those are your two levels. I can put in a box here, but I'm just going to hold off for that right now and just kind of see where this actually ends up. On the weekly, we just had that little bit of a fake out here, which I don't think that's really ever happened, but we've never, except over here, but before that, we never even closed below this 200 week moving average. So it's not 100% reliable anymore based on what had happened. But either way, we're back above it. Take a look at the, oh yeah. So we do have this cross here. This is a good sign as well. Every time we've crossed to the upside, we've had a pretty big move. Even right here, we passed through this 20 line. At least we move up to pretty much the top most of the time. Okay, we pass through this zone, here, we move to the top. Pass through this zone here, we move to the top. Pass through the zone here, we move to the top. Okay, pass through the zone here, we move to the top. The only other time that this has happened was literally right here. I think that was mainly the only time. Pass through the zone here, we move all the way to the top. So we're very, very far from the top, is what I'm trying to say. Now we are probably going to get some divergence. I mean, hopefully this actually pops through this, but that's going to be over the next couple of weeks to kind of see how that actually plays out. Good thing is we do have a MACD cross coming on Sunday. We'll have to see. If we look at the daily, that's short term, but it is overbought. 3-day, it's overbought, but it's still short term there. I think there's a little bit of bearish divergence there, but I think we might have already played that out. So let's just keep an eye on that. So main thing, we've confirmed a candle over that 203-day moving average. Let's see what happens in the next week and then see how the weekly closes. But typically this should push this up quite a bit. So that's where I'm at on that. We could look at XLM real quick. Actually go with Stellar. All right, so Stellar 3-day looks good. Three-day looks good there. Weekly looks really, really good. You do have a confirmed cross last week. And then a cross down here. Bullish engulfing candle. So overall, Stellar looks pretty good. So I showed this in the last video. We could have just had a big, ABC correction here, and then we start 5 waves to a new all-time high. That is one situation that could play out. So let's see. There's some stuff that happened with Coinbase. I guess you can use USDC on Stellar now, which is probably cheaper, faster. There's some reason why Coinbase decided to use that. So it's kind of a big deal. So we're going to follow this and see how that ends up playing out. Let's see if there's some other coins that we can look at here. We can look at BCH. I know we bought some BCH a while back ago. I think I bought it at $250 the last time. maybe. I can't remember. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of volume coming in, which is great. So this could have done the same thing as Stellar, and it is kind of looking that way because of the volume that's coming in. So this volume is bigger than it was, over here. So there's more buyers now. Now that needs to continue to improve. But I mean, if this is wave one, so if you have 1, 2, wherever 3 goes, if it goes here, 4, and then 5, something like that, that would just be your first wave of like a much bigger cycle, pushing this a lot higher. So same thing with Stellar. So if it makes a new all-time high, I mean, that's over $4,000. So that's a crazy amount. Look at ADA here. So ADA looks pretty good. There was a lot of buy pressure there. ADA entered that area, so that's a good area to buy. What I don't want to see is, this is a little bit of something I'm kind of worried about, is doing something like this during the next cycle. And time's going to tell. I would really lean more towards this here because it did actually make a new all-time high, and like XLM and whatnot didn't. But this is something I'm a little concerned about. But that would be your alternate scenario. But it still should go pretty high from where we're at now. Maybe a 10x from where it's at now, if it doesn't make a new all-time high. And that's going to be, I'm just going to have to look at the charts of XLM and compare them with like Litecoin and whatnot, and try to decipher, are we going to do this sort of ABC correction? And that's going to be difficult to guess. So just keep that in mind on ADA. LTC, let me take a look at that. The halving comes up in August, and it's not doing what I was hoping it was going to do. So this is when the halving is. Could we just run up here over the next month or so? Yeah. I mean, if July is a crazy month, this could literally come all the way up here. It's only like 100 and something %. So that is possible. Once it pops out of here and confirms, I think it's probably going to show off a little bit. The chart still looks pretty good too. Like if we're looking at the weekly, it still has bullish divergence here. So we're going to have to see, maybe it sells off the day of the halving or something. It just does something different than it has in the past. It just doesn't make sense that it would top at a lesser price than the last halving. But this could also be in one of these. So A, B, C, and then you have 5 waves up. All right, guys, that's all I'm going to cover today. I hope y'all have a good 4th of July weekend, and I'll look back at the charts on Sunday, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, y'all have a good